First of all, this universe is something like, you may say, cloud. In the blue sky, which is nothingness, their universe appears. Appeared how? That is that blue sky, nothingness. There, two forces began. Centripedality, centrifugality. This universe currently is more stronger centrifugality. So universe is expanding. That universe expand spiralically, logarithmic spiral. This universe, therefore, while expanding, centrifugal force going on everywhere, or to all directions. There, when force intersects, many spirals arise. There are galaxies. Something like invisible tree making many leaves. Although present day astronomical science know that universe expanding, all galaxies are flying away each other, but they think that is because long time ago this universe had explosion. The Big Bang theory. But that theory has two big defects. One, original universe and such condensed universe explode. One is what happened, why that is there originally. Second, why that happens, explosions, if original is there. Those things were still can't explain. As theory, they think Big Bang, the explosion might happen. But it's not. This universe is not happened by explosion. Again, that theory of explosion is by warmongers' brains, meat-eating brains. Interpret that, assume that. This universe began like centrifugal spirals, huge spirals, and that spiral is logarithmic spirals. Logarithmic means, suppose if you take center, if you take 1 this side, take 2 this side, take 4 this side, take 8 this side. Take 16 this side. Take 32 that side. Like that is logarithmic. Okay? So from center, go like that kind of spiral. This is logarithmic spiral. If you take from center to 7, then instead of 1 to 1, doubles, 7 times doubles, this becomes huge. So anyway, it appears that this line going straight, because we are so tiny, it appears straight. So we overlook these huge spirals. Think that everything going straight. In the logarithmic spirals, suppose here galaxy, suppose here galaxy, suppose here galaxies, or here the galaxies. Everything is a parting part. Speed of this different. This is faster. This is faster. This is faster. So everything appears flying away. Distance become apart. That is this universe. Then, on the galaxies, and then after this expand extremely, then begin, what happens? Anyone? When yin become extreme, what happens?
Returns into yang.
Change to yang. Right? So, contracting spiral begin. Universe become smaller. Then, when become very small, then begin again expanding spirals. That way, this universe is big way pulsating. Big way pulsating. Okay? Now is pulsating out. Eventually, pulsating in. This universe, at the time of when we see far away galaxies are flying very high speed, becoming towards more and more near that light speed, speed of light. And furthermore, the galaxy goes with speed. That speed, when reach infinite speed, that means no more appearance of phenomena. Infinite speed, then there is no phenomena. The infinite speed, then time dissolve. Okay? Space, how comes? Space. Space is there or space not? If infinite speed, no space. At the time, at the place, time and space disappears. that is edge of next universe. The next universe also there. And furthermore, next universe there. When you know yin and yang, suppose yin is here, next is what? Yang. And yang is here, next is what? Yin. This is expanding universe. The next universe, what kind of universe? Contract. Next universe is expanding. Very good. Okay? This universe where we are living is one of many universes. Okay? You don't need to know other universe because we are busy enough here. But you have to know this infinite structure of this universe. Or you may say, I will call that super universe. Super universe. At any rate, this arises. We must add time. Universe is not staying one place like that. Universe is moving with enormous speed. Okay? Not staying one space. Okay? Moving itself, whole universe itself moving. Suppose if you give the time, okay? Time. Long time ago, then next and next, okay? Go like that. Okay? That means universe is nothing but waves. Wave. And galaxy is something like dots and there. Right? Particles. Okay? Something like particles. These waves. And then same things when we give, suppose, okay, solar system. Time factor. Solar system is flying as a whole. Then sun, for the sun runs this way. Then Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, for running like that, right? Suppose. Mars. Then, if Sun run, this fly, so Sun's position change, then this Mercury wave along the sun. Okay? Wave like that. Venus, bigger wave. Earth is more bigger wave. Mars is bigger way. In other words, solar system is bunch of group of waves. Waves. Solar system itself, or galaxy itself, or universe itself, nothing but waves. Okay? We are riding within the waves. Okay? Then, this universe after expanded, contract goes. But these cycles, modern science, according to Big Bang theory, they were thinking maybe 80 million billion years ago might have happened. That, of course, should be changed greatly because that is Big Bang theory. If they discover this is logarithmic spiral, then time factor change. But anyway, some many billions years ago began. It's still continuing. Some more billions of years continue. Then began, contraction began. Meanwhile, the galaxies, one of the galaxy we call Milky Way galaxy, we are within. All galaxies therefore take spiralic pattern. Spiralic pattern, all galaxies. Some 20% of galaxies not spirals, because that is just begun or spiral or dissolved. But 80% of galaxies spiralic pattern. So suppose now Milky Way galaxy, spiralic pattern. Again, this is logarithmic spiral. Miniature of entire universe. These galaxies supposed to be 100 millions solar system running. Same things, trillions of galaxies running the whole universe. The one Milky Way galaxies, many millions of solar system running. Present time, our solar system running about the center of the Milky Way galaxies to the edge, about 1/3, 2/3 distance. That cycling, cycling the galaxies, and this toward the center, many systems, many stars there. When we take spectrum, like examine that light, the light, comparing with more age stars, color is different. which stars show more yin color or yang color? Edge stars show what? More yin colors. That means more purple, blue kind of color. Or towards center show yellow, red, orange type of color. More yang. Then this solar system, when they run about 300 kilometers per second running. So let's see that cycle, for example, okay? 300 kilometers per second. Per second. It's very high speed, very high speed. We don't feel at all. Why we don't feel? Why don't you feel it? Okay, that's homework.
Change is very slow.
Or changes very rapid, 300 kilometers per second.
So the relative change.
Relative change to what?
Zero.
To what? Between what change to what change?
Because our senses are not fine enough to perceive such a high frequency, just like sounds. A dog can hear what we can't hear. It's too fast for us to perceive it.
No.
Once you're moving, you don't feel you're moving. I don't think.
Okay, homework. Then, as you see, this is logarithmic spiral. This is not circles, not circles. If circles, there is possibility that this distance, same, each other same from here. This distance, this. But this spiralic motion. So, to the center, one side is more longer. Another side is shorter. You understand, right? Okay. This side, right? This side longer than this. Okay? So while this circling, circling, gradually going this to the center or towards the periphery, which is, in other words, while circling, or this Milky Way galaxy is expanding or contracting, which Milky Way galaxy, not the universe. Universe is expanding. Now Milky Way galaxy is what? Contracting. If contracting, eventually the solar system goes toward the center. Then solar system how it goes? Going towards what? Yin or yang? Yang. So solar system become yang, right? Eventually become yang. Then how it goes? Come all contract. Okay? all planets, etc., become one. Okay? If expanding, how goes? Solar system is expanding, so eventually become more bigger, right? And if you go very far, dissolution goes. Now, while running, in between, repeat this expand, contract, pulsating. When they were far from the center, far side, solar system, how goes? Expand, contract, expand, right? More in, okay? When near side, contract, okay? Currently, solar system is very far side, okay? Far side. Almost the extreme point of far side. And not near side. This cycle I'm calling galactic air. Galactic air. In this galactic air, but Milky Way galaxies, galactic air, okay? This solar system is running 200 million years approximate cycle. 200 million years. One cycle. You study the geological evolutions as well as biological evolutions in high school, colleges. Without understanding this cycle, cannot have clear understanding why those things happens. When solar system is far side, solar system is more expand. That means between sun and planets, between planets and planets, distance how goes? More longer. When contract part, when the far side, when near side, more contract. That means between sun and the planets, between planets become more contract. Okay? Then which one this Earth receive more intensively solar radiation? Which side? Which one? When we go far side, when we go near side? Near side. More intense. Currently, distance between the Earth and the Sun, how many million miles? Average. 93 million miles. Right? Again, approximate. Okay, no one knows exact. Okay, 93 million miles, and changing, of course, that. Okay, by the season, right? Changing. This 93 million miles distance average is not necessarily stable permanently. Now, according to our law of change, nothing be permanent. Okay? everything changes. So there is no constant in this whole universe. Okay? Everything changes. Same things, this 93 million mile distance is temporary, present day distance. Okay? And that will change. So if we have more near side, which solar system contract, then between sun and the earth is becoming more narrow. Instead of 93 million years, no, the 93 million miles may become 92, may become 91, right? May become even 86, 88 million miles. With a cycle of 200 million years. Okay. Then, suppose if that happens, this earth become more intensively hot. Humid become more, right? And then you can see what type of vegetation and animals grow. More in. That means more big. Right? Big. Then you can recall back your geological, biological histories. Once long time ago, we had such kinds of big animal, big plants time. Right? We call giant reptiles. Okay? Reptiles are, their body, comparing our body, how about water contents? Much higher, right? Reptiles. Snake live in the water or right? Or whatever, okay? Very watery body. So, when the farther side, right, extreme side of short, at that time, on the earth, temperature is much warmer and grow big. Then, while that changing, gradually distance become different between Earth and Sun. Solar radiation become less and less. Then naturally, these big one, how happens? Die out, can't exist. Then what kinds of things grow? More become yana, right? And those big ones start to contract. Okay? Next generation don't grow that high, right? More shorter. Thousands generations later become much, much shorter, okay? And much, much compacted. Same things, giants dies, and generation to generation becoming more smaller and smaller. Okay? So, present day reptiles is very small, no more giants. Okay? Together with vegetation change, then eating those vegetations, structure of animal change. Okay? So-called, biologically speaking, new age begin. That's after the end of reptiles age, began what age? Mammals age. Mammals age. After reptiles, the mammals age began. Giant reptile. Okay? Then, after mammals, furthermore, Earth becoming colder. Okay? Less solar radiations. So, more coming like towards present day. Right? Then, becoming the more and more vegetation contract. More and more, that becoming hard, young. Then, so-called seed plants began. Seed plants. Seeds covered. Fruits. Tree fruits age. Then after that, furthermore colder, more plants hard, like straw hard. So even snow, etc., don't fall out. Okay? And seeds is covered, fruits itself becoming harder and harder. Okay? And fruits and seeds become almost one. Okay? So-called grain begin. Grain. Okay? Grain fruits. Okay? Together with that environmental change and botanical change, animal change, because they eat, they live there. When seed plants, fruits, tree fruits, bushes fruits, more abundant, that is late autumn. Late autumn, if we call summer. Late autumn, much cooler. At that time, what age? The animal speaking? More like April age. Okay? When further colder, the grains begin. Grain means, right? You know the apple. Apple is fruits and seeds is different. Okay? Within fruits, seeds. Grain means fruits and seeds are same, one. Okay? One. And that age began human. Okay? Human. Eating them, living colder climate, standard. Colder means not yet like storm, etc., snowstorm, comparing with in big cycle. Then, furthermore become cold. Then, those human, after some million years, begin to use what? Fire. Brain, cooler, colder climate, hot climate, which is more brain becomes sharper, colder climate. Comparing reptiles, comparing mammals, human brain is more sharp. And when we eat more in type of food, more compacted food, like grains, which make brain sharper. More grain, compacted. Huh? So, change brains, especially after began to eat plants, cereal plants, which grow straight, straight. Okay. These grains is not hanging down, those grains straight up. You know that, right? Grain. It's not very different from fruits, like that. Grains, straight up. And trump straight. By eating that, erection began. Erection. Okay? And this becoming very sharp, understanding universe. Okay? Spirituality started to mature. And consciousness start to become clear at the same time wider. Okay? Then naturally able to use things like fire. Other animals who have more in-brain couldn't use fire. And same things, their hand was not developed this way, more like cannot use tools. How this hands develop? This grew, that means in. Or this contracted, that means yang. Which is?
From the earth out, yin.
This one grew this way, contract. This was spiral. Center of spiral. That means what? Yin or yang? Yang. Okay? Not periphery. Not growing like spirals. Okay? Our body, whole our body spirals. This, okay? Spirals. Okay? This is spirals. Then, because of eating more yang, grain, compacted food, becoming more contracted center, became like that. For someone, while this biological evolution processing on the mother's womb, if mother did take plenty of Coca-Cola, ice cream, etc., the contracting force, minerals, if she did not take enough minerals, then when baby is born, this become what kinds of finger? web finger. Okay? Web finger. There are many babies like that. Okay? When they are born, so they cut. Okay? I operate. But many fingers like that. Please touch each other's finger. Check. Everyone has webs, but contracting webs. Okay? But some is more, some is less. Okay? Can you see? Okay? All right? Webs. Okay? Same things. When minerals and so forth are lacked, right? In other words, good contracting force lacked. Naturally, labor time, how goes? Cannot contract well, right? So, takes long time. Okay? Sometimes need cesarean. Okay? And of course, too much contract not good. Then this become tight, cannot work. Need elastic. Right? But comparing varying lack of good minerals, then can't have good contract. Same things like web fingers. Many modern children be created by lack of minerals, shortage of minerals, or shortage of contracting power. So, when they were born, our face, right, in mother's womb, like repeat biological evolution. Right? So, in water, like fish type stage was there. Right? So everyone's face was eyes there. Mouth was very big. Nose. Then this nerve system, brain, developed like this. On the back, this developed like this. Need contracting power. Okay? Right? And face, eyes become towards center. Mouth becomes smaller. Okay? And nose is formed by this force. Right? Nose is formed. Okay? While this process going on, if not enough minerals, contracting power, or not enough mother was acting, right? Activity, then this mouth become open, big. Mouth remain big. And at the extreme case, just don't attach. Everyone has this, right? This attached. Okay? Don't attach this. So we call what? Hair lips. Okay? All right? There are those babies there. Okay? And then this also don't form one. Spirit comes. Spirit. Don't come together. Okay? Please touch yourself. Many of you split here. Okay? You understand? Right? Then, same thing, lung, left side chamber, right side chamber, go like that. Okay? Together. Just don't go together. So this side moving, this side moving, don't coordinate together. That means irregular beating. Right? Irregular beating. So if you have this line, line on the nose, that shows your heart has irregular beating. Okay? Very interestingly, if you are taking airs of macrobiotics, this becomes less and less. This irregular beating all disappears. Okay? Same way, intestines, which is like that. You know, when, suppose you die, autopsy, intestine we take out, it about 7 to 8 meters. But from that pole, this much long distance, intestine, maybe more, from here to there. Small intestine, okay? That one there, that means intestines like accordion, you know accordion? Yeah, right? Like that way, gear there, right? Like spring time. Okay? This power is very strong power. Okay? If this power lost, right, losing, the intestine becoming loose and looser. Okay? Then hanging down goes. Hanging. Or expansion goes. Extreme case, hernia arise. Hernia. Okay? Right? And what kinds of food make more accelerate that looseness? In sugar, fruit juice, etc., so forth. These hot climate, right? Hot times, more eating, okay? Loosen. Then, naturally, cannot make digestion and absorption well. Okay? This intestine get tight. By that, spring goes. Okay? By that, absorption going on also, that absorption. Okay? By that, food moves. By that, decomposition also going on. Very active. Right? Bacterial actions, etc., very active going on. Where loose cannot do it. Okay? But so many modern peoples like that. Okay? And uterus is also looser. Okay? Vagina also looser. Same thing, ovary and testicles looser, not tight. Okay? And these physiological, constitution-wise, many modern people, while from here, from the time they were in mother's womb, already loose. Okay? Web fingers, or big mouth, or this, or irregular beating, or loose, right? Weak intestines, etc. Okay? This mouse, in order to, because of made by this So mouth to be is nose, nose. Mouth to be, same width of this nose. Same width. That is balanced conditions. Mouth to be same width of nose. But, and if you see Greek Roman age sculpture or Buddha's statue, mouth is like that. So around that time, majority of people's mouths were like that. But please see each other, your friend. Grandparents' nose is together. Okay? So, naturally, vitality, immune abilities together. Okay? Like the spread of age is nothing but spreading on these biological ground, which were as a whole, modern people have become much weaker. Then on the top of that, individual people's eating and behavior accelerating it. Then, of course, if we then seek comfort, comfort, instead of seek hardship. Suppose cold weather comes, wants to go California. If hardship comes, instead of confrontation and breakthrough, run away. And instead you tolerance or bear patient hard work, you want to defend, hide away. That is the present day lifestyles. Don't stick the one things until accomplish. Easily give up if difficulties. Easily give up. This is common modern people's character because their constitution is weak. And then also becoming modern people are lazy. Wants to take soon rest, wants to take soon vacation, wants to take soon easy going. That modern people's character, biological character. Your grandparents' age, there are many people who wanted to work hard, no vacation, even no Saturday, Sundays. And they want hard work and they were enjoying. They didn't feel that particularly pressure or stress. They were doing it. But nowadays, many people complain of this social pressure, time pressure. My work too busy, too much, wants to run away that, Same things conceptually, understand macrobiotics, But after they try wow, this is difficult. Wow. There are so many people like that. Then these humans, race, anyway, after began to use fire, then began to acquire freedom for environment. Because now they could change quality of food, energy, and quality of living conditions, making house, making clothes, making various cuisines, so forth. So now, different energy they could generate. By that, used to be when cold weather comes, hot weather animals die out. But now the possibility, they could got possibility that regardless any under environmental change, they could survive. Because they gained now how to use energy. Fire. That fire became more and more intensively used. Together with, again, colder and colder, more continuous. Then, 1 million years ago, began ice age, colder. Then that passed. Again began, second. Again passed. Again comes, third. Again passed. Fourth one came. Again passed. Now, just ended fourth one. And so, big period of ice age. So people were naturally had to struggle. So they could live, they did live some caves. They did acquire eating animals also. Because lack of grains, lack of seeds, lack of fruits, lack of vegetations. Though ice age did not cover entire the ice, only some area. More so-called equator belt and southern four-season climatic belt were warm. So main majority of who are continuing still grains, is that said. But some area became colder, had to go more animal food eating this and that to survive. Then present day people, because they were eating meat, they think that is that our ancestors' eatings, hunting, so huntings. It's not. It's not. That is under extraordinary, abnormal circumstance. They did it, but main food which have all our ancestors have been eating were grains, seeds, wild vegetables, plants, etc. And they used animals as supplement, except the area, very cold area, no vegetation was there, so forth. That study recently becoming now, from maybe 4 or 5 years ago only, began the study started to think our human ancestor was not hunter and were more eating grain, seeds, etc., fruits, so forth, gathered and eating. First of all, if our ancestors were hunter and meat eaters, then long time ago mankind diminished because of atherosclerosis, hard fat, cholesterol, etc. Died out. But didn't continue. That means that they were not eating like that. That was some special cases. Then, while this goes, ice age goes. Okay? Ice age, while goes, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, warm goes, going. Okay? Of course, they began cold climate, more contract. Warmer climate, more expand. Cold climate, more. So, acquired more and more intelligence. Acquired more and more vitalities, flexibilities, adaptabilities. Together with that, therefore, together with fire, mankind spread all over the earth. Cold climate, polar regions they could live, hot climate they could live. Then, mankind is, as you see, winter times, galactically speaking, okay? Winter times species. That means, suppose among 200 million years cycle, if we divide this big wave 4, this season is, what shall we call this? Summer. I call this galactic season. This is galactic air, this is galactic season. This is springtime. Winter time. This is autumn time. Each epoch, generally how many million years?
50.
About 50 million years, each epoch. So, about mankind began, beginning of this winter season. And gradually evolved to the present times. Present structure, present intelligence, present the culture, civilizations. Mankind history is far, far longer than present archaeological studies or other studies revealing. Until recent time, until the end of war, until the war, before the war, many people are thinking, scientists thinking, maybe mankind was 300,000 or 700,000 years, so forth. But after Dr. Leakey and his son and other group, they put efforts to dig out Africas. They discovered 1.2 million years ago or 1.8 million years ago the human skeletons. And these human skeletons was not at all like so-called the chimpanzee, etc. Far more advanced, near towards us. And so, we don't know how many million years ago really began. And these 1.2, 1.8 million years ago, already they were using some tool, very simple tools. Practically, and also they think they were not eating meat. They think they were eating grain, seeds, etc., so forth. So, actually speaking, mankind began much more long time ago. And you would say from now, 20 to 25 million years ago, began. And then, from now, furthermore, how many million continues? 25 million years more continues. Okay? In other words, mankind are these winter times goes. But mankind acquired fire and how to control energy. That means now it was given to mankind's hand, even different galactic seasons, like reptile living, etc. Those seasons, even if comes, mankind would be able to continue to survive. Okay? If properly using energies, properly selecting what they eat. Okay? Possibility began right now. Okay? Possibility. Okay? But because mankind's abuse of energies, especially self-profit thinking, materialistic thinkings, now mankind is going to destroy this earth and their life, committing suicide. Especially mankind forgot their food, which developed themselves. Grain, seeds, this, that, etc., so forth. Okay? And they all gave up that and go refined, then chemicalized, then meat eating, then milk and this and that, etc., etc., etc. By that, human status is now collapsing. Okay? No longer human species. Okay? They can maintain its status. So as yesterday said, like if you eat chickens, become chicken hunt. Right? No longer human species, becoming chicken now. Okay? Same thing is becoming cow. Same thing like AIDS is becoming virus. Okay? Whole body now viruses goes. Okay? Becoming very primitive virus. Okay? Anyway, so real human beings, which is standing, wise, spiritual, and flexible, and a grain mind person, like social solidarity or harmony or peacefulness, loving. These mankind, these human quality has become less and less and less and less and less rapidly. And different degenerated quality, ape type, mammals type, reptiles like birds, birds type, okay? Various those type of qualities now spreading. Besides strange monsters, because of chemicalization, because of artificial food, monsters now become. Then in order to keep their functions well or survive, bionization began. Now begin tumor, begin cancer, then take out that organ, let's replace it. Kidney machine, heart replacement, this, that. The total artificialization of human species began. Mind control, giving drugs, giving chemicals, this, that. And psychonization, bionization, psychonization. In other words, no more quality human species, and more artificial species. And natural human species degenerate and become AIDS, cancer, etc. perish away. And bionization, psychonization goes. Artificial species goes. Plus artificial reproduction. No more parents needed, no more ancestor needed, no more culture needed. Artificial species. That now we are facing. Artificial. Up to here, natural species. Natural species. Now artificial species started to come. So, natural species are now at stake. Natural human species now at the stake of extinction. You are maybe last or next to the last generation of natural human species. Then what macrobiotic wants to do is to preserve natural human species and develop its strong and high quality of physical, psychological, spiritual level. And let mankind continue to live on 20, 25 millions more, and if possible, all pass through coming to the future, endless. As it is, human species will end from this planet. Before, still nature can make human species sustain and develop another 20, 25 million years. But on the way, at its peak of civilizations, the mankind commits suicide. These 200 million years cycles, biologically, if you thought back about 64, 69 million years ago, giant reptile diminished, mammals' age began. About 30 to 20 million years ago, apes age. That latter part parallel-wise human species. And giant reptiles gradually developed more and more, and springtime already reptiles started, small scale, then began. So age of reptile. You know, like frogs, snakes come out springtime. Then summertime become very active. Then, before that, age of birds began. Birds. Perhaps you can understand. This Earth is this side. The solar system this side means solar system is yang or yin? Yin. Then each planet becoming what? Yang or yin? Also yin. That means atmospheric condition becoming what? More up. Okay? Instead of dense condensed. Okay? At the time of reptiles, the giant, more atmosphere heavy. Okay? Now atmosphere more clear. So many stars we can see also. Okay? When this atmosphere clear and light, what happens? Easily happens this way motion. Okay? This way. So, from now, about 200 million years ago, birds began. Okay? Birds. Even fish started to fly. Okay? You know that kind of fish is still there, right? Okay? Fly. Furthermore, another cycle of 200 years old. That means from now 400 million years ago, what happens? Geologically?
The mountains form?
Continent lies from the ocean. Okay? Upward motion. The Earth towards peripheral motion arises. Okay? This time, more this motion. Okay? Right? Okay. So, naturally, mankind now going towards where? Space. Huh? Like birds appeared here. Continents arise 400 million years ago. $200 million years ago, 400 million years ago, 300 million years ago, 100 million years ago. Now, mankind flying. This birth began for flying animals. This continent rise up like that, goes. Because biological evolution on this earth from the gaseous state, very gaseous state, began up to present day Earth condition, atmosphere. Many billion years. And their biological evolution also, geological, biological evolution, change took place. Second stage is like water. Air. Third stage, more that is forming continents, continents in the air, land and sea and air, etc. Change. Total biological evolution, in my estimate, 3.2 billion or more. Although I may have mistake 1 week, 2 weeks. And that means, of course, from the beginning of the Earth formations, that is more before. That, in my estimation, 4.2 or more, 4.2 billion or more. But that means if we think 200 million years once galactic cycle, how many cycles we did? Suppose, in biologically. 16 cycles, okay? 16 cycles. In other words, we passed 16 galactic years or more. 16 galactic years or more. Meanwhile, galactic summertime, big animals or big plants. Galactic winter time, small plants and small animals. Repeat. Repeat. And then when you understand this, mankind have the possibility to live more 20-25 million years comfortably on this planet if we do not commit suicide ourselves. And mankind, because mankind acquires energies, how to control energy, fire, change what we eat, what we live, how to live. Mankind has a possibility to continue to live. Furthermore, millions of years from now on, future, if wise enough. If ourselves well managed. Okay? In the meantime, while mankind processing, this time, around that time, and this time, periodically, celestial, the visiting, celestial visit made also encounter encounter also made. That's accelerated to these encouragement, these change of cultures, etc. were made. You may say UFO, you may say some other ET or whatever. But these aspects that you can study some other occasion, like spiritual development seminars, so forth, okay? Spiritual training seminars, etc. And just to remember, among your blood, there are two ancestors. One is earthly evolved ancestors, that tradition. Another is celestially the influenced the thinkings and the constitution. Both. But grain eating habits, especially grain cultivation, were automatically, naturally developed on this planet, but that was tremendously accelerated by the celestial, the influence. They brought down the knowledge of the cultivations of grain and so forth. And after that, mankind became very rapidly intellectual and spiritual. So there are many stories. American Indians think God gave the corns. Japanese mythology is when ancestors descended from heaven, they brought rice and started to plant. Or here and there, all the world, these mythologies are there. Came down from heaven or brought down from the other planets, so forth. Anyway, that you keep, this big cycle you keep in mind. Okay? Then next is, don't forget, futures furthermore continue this cycle. Okay? So you can make science fiction story how this earth developed. You can figure out. Then, within these cycles, small cycles, okay? That small cycle, especially which you have to understand is, there are many cycles, but important cycle is 25,800 years cycle. This cycle is the cycle which the earth bubbling motion, wobbling motion. Wobbling. What spell? Wobbling. Why this motion arises? Those rotating like that. Meanwhile, Earth wobbles. Like, I don't know what they call children's toy. And going on, that wobbling also. Okay? Wobbling. Same thing, wobbling motion arise. So that wobbling motion is making, therefore, Earth is there. Okay? Then North Pole change by wobbling motion. Change. Okay? So Earth change like that. Sometime North Pole face towards this. Some other time North Pole face towards this. Some other time face wobbling motion. Okay? This cycle is this one. A current cycle. Okay? 25,800 years cycle. As you can see, the Earth rotate where more centrifugal force goes, more polar region or equator region. Centrifugal expanding force in more equator. More equator is bigger, right? This is less and less goes, right? So you know, vegetation for towards more equator is becoming more in and taller, okay? Expand, juicy, soft, and going towards north, become more harder, contract, more, less juicy, okay? Smaller and smaller, eventually becoming like moss, right? And then diminish polar regions. Okay? Diminish. So, which force then? So, force coming from outside, actually coming from all over, okay? Coming outside. Which area is strongest coming? Polar regions. Then become less than this, okay? Then people who are living in northern area, Scandinavia, or northern England, the British Isles, or Canada, or whatever, okay? They were comparing with more Mediterranean area, more people who are living in Central America, or Northern Africa, Northern America, okay? India, etc. Comparing what kinds of people, with northern climate people, more young, this way, okay? And people who are living more Central America, so forth, more that way type of person, okay? They were more emotionally, of course. They were more theoretically goes. And this more emotional goes, more theoretical goes. Okay? And male, female, who are living in northern area, both are becoming more narrow character, more like, suppose here the spectrum, right? Suppose here, Okay, male, female. Let's call this not actual division, but character, tendency, male character, okay? Male nature, female nature. Then, northern area people are male character, female, which is stronger? Male character. So even woman, more male type of character, woman is many. Okay? So like becoming more male. If we go more equator territories, develop more what? Female type of character. Okay? And even man becoming more female type character. Okay? Right? Even man. Okay? And four season climate are various. Some is more male, some is more female, this, right? Various. Okay? General tendency go like that. Okay? Then, while this is going on, wobbling motion goes. Okay? So, this force which giving the influence from heaven, celestial influence, which coming very strong here, by wobbling motion become different. Sometimes receive these constellations, sometimes receive that constellations more, right? Sometimes this constellation, etc. Okay? Northern sky, if we see, then something like constellation arranged like that. Hercules, Drago, big constellation, Great Bear, Small Bear, or Great Dipper, okay? Great Dipper, like 7 stars. Then Polaris, North Pole, right? Polaris. Then there are another constellations, several big constellations, like Cassiopeia, etc. And all, however, those constellations is part of Milky Way, thousands of stars. Okay? And there, Lyra. Another name is Harp. And there is this star called Vega. Vega. Okay? But this one is northern Earth here, right? Earth here. Earth north is sometimes face this way, then sometimes face that way, sometimes face this way, sometimes face that way. Cycling. Okay? So sometimes this area is force stronger, sometimes this area is force strong. sometimes this strong, okay? Coming. So, taking 25 million years cycles, the celestial influence toward the Earth were different and repeated, cycling. Current, our North Pole, facing towards Polaris, but not exactly facing yet. Not exactly facing Polaris, facing towards this. And Polaris, that wobbling motion, moving more and more, and going towards Polaris more. Coming, the year of 2102 AD, coming exactly Polaris. Polaris comes exactly north. Although, for 2-3 centuries, we have been using these stars as an identified mark of north. Currently more, we are influencing the 7 stars, great dippers, more influence. Great Dipper and Polaris both. When we pass that, then go another 500 years, more and more start to receive these thousands of stars shower, radiation shower. 1,000 years later from now, these thousands of stars start to cover the north sky. From there, the shower comes. That will continue about, because this is cycle, about 10,000 years continue. Then that start to diminish, Vega start to give more influence, or rider. Then after that, Hercules. Soon after that, this big constellation, Drago, giving influence. Then after that, Great Bear. Then Small Bear, again 7 stars, Polaris. This cycle goes. When we receive this shower from thousands of stars, nighttime become how? More brighter than now. And how plants goes? Plants becoming more energized. How then people go? More energized. And people eat also those plants, more energized. In other words, more vitality grow, spirituality grow, energized physically and energized spiritually, spirited. Spiritualization begin. So at around that time, words will become much more powerful. Same thing when you apply palms, many sickness heal because food itself have a much more energized food, strong. So physically, mentally, spiritually become much more spiritualized. Telepathies, intuitions, insight, imagination has become much more developed. Then they know also naturally, this whole universe is energy. Whole earth is energy. And how we use that energy. And naturally, instead of digging out coals or digging out the oils, so forth, and burn it, and use that energy, etc. And here, new civilization. That civilization is golden age comes. Spiritually developed, high energized civilization. Highly energized civilization. And one world. One world. One planet, planetary world. On the contrary, this side, less energized, less spiritual, more materialistic, more using, figuring out intellectual status, organization, so forth, instead spiritual intuitions. Many machines, etc. Materialistic and more physical civilization, low energized civilization. Very aesthetically speaking, you may say paradise, lost paradise. You may say that simply. Okay? Generally alternate, making Polaris and Vega the border. Vega to Polaris, dark age. Polaris to Vega, bright age. This time of division, divided. This is one united world. Divided world. Now, 1985. Is ending period of this dark age. So, dark age elements gather there, as well as together with that, next beginning, a sign of beginning of bright age start appearing. And in the dark age, we have war, conflicts, fightings, killings, competitions. In the one word, bright age, we have planetary families, one world community. Did we then, because this is cycle, did we then, we had once long time ago world community. That means from now, this side is about 12, 13,000 years, right? And this side also 12, 13,000 years. So did we have that before 12, 13,000 years ago? Yes, we had it. As the symbolized, as the story symbolized by the incident of like Atlantis, moon continent sinkings. Before that, we had one world community. And before that, at that time, people were visiting, traveling all over the world, using also quite often flying, voyages on various things, and they not use digged out energy source which are limited. They use endless source of energies which is coming from heaven and generated from the earth. That is huge energies. And in order to use that, pool that energy, generate, store that energy, they built pyramids throughout the world, all over the world. Thousands of pyramids they built. Most primitive form pyramid, on the mountains, they put the stones on the mountain. Big block, arranged, certain shape of block, arranged certain way. And that generated, keep that mountain itself very highly energized, source of energy. From there, feeding energy to nearby field, or nearby field, making cultivation very developed. Their idea was non-materialistic. So, present idea is materialistic. So when we give fertilizers, we think calcium how much, kalium how much, this element how much, etc. so forth. Their thinking was how much, what kinds of energy we give it. Okay? So when mountains, suppose they control by stone, mountain has upward energy strong. Okay? They controlling by stone. Also stone receive some stones, high stone like that, they build. Then receiving heaven force, then high energy goes. Then feeding this nearby field. There the crop grows. Okay? Furthermore, that's changed to make circle stone circles. That is, on the ground, not mountain, on the ground, certain way they arrange stone. Actually, they were trying to make spiralic energies by that stone arrangement. Because they didn't know whole universe is spiral, galaxy is spiral, and everything is spiral. That is the pattern of energy. So, stone circle stone, whichever. Okay? Built thousands throughout the world. Some is small, like that. From here, like big is about 100 times bigger than this, or miles and miles bigger. And arrange directions, a certain way of directions, together with constellation, together with sunset, or etc. We make those stones arranged. Okay? Make entire field high energized place. Furthermore, they did the artificially on the ground, if they don't have very wide area, artificially they made man-made mound. There they arrange stones.